like from the sports ball court.
DeRozan knows exactly what he wants to do. He is not going to rush this possession by any means. Now he gets matched up on the rookie.
He's going to try to get him up in the air.
DeRozan fadeaway shot there, nails it. That put the Kings up 29-24 over the Thunder, but the Thunder at the end came up with the W. They win that one 107-101. Kings play again against Chicago tonight at 5 p.m., so catch all of that action here on KAHI. Kings versus Chicago tonight at 5 p.m. That will be here on KAHI. Other scores around the NBA yesterday, we had the Warriors versus the Clippers. Warriors win that one 98-79. Heat versus the Hornets. Heat on top there 144-117, and 76ers versus the Wizards. 76ers on top there 139-134. Going locally here, Forest Hill locks up first league title with perfect run through Sierra Delta. This is from the Auburn Journal. Forest Hill High School's flag football team made school history with Wednesday's 31-6 victory over Leroy Green Academy as it wrapped up the first Sierra Delta League championship in program history. The Wildfires scorched through their competition. I see what they did there, going a perfect 12-0 and outscoring opponents 287-82. Congratulations, Wildfire ladies, on your flag of football win there. We'll be back with your KAHI weather right after this.
Are you about to mow the lawn? It's blazing hot out here. Smokey Bear says,
avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry. It's all on SmokeyBear.com, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Come on out to the Mendocino Coast on Saturday, November 1st for a truly one-of-a-kind event. The Mushroom Train is back and better than ever. Board the Skunk Train in Fort Bragg and head on out to the Glen Blair Junction for, wait for it, live music, a DJ dance party on the train, incredible food, wine, beer, even mushroom-themed cocktails, and guided forest bathing walks. Do not miss this event. This is Saturday, November 1st. For more information and your tickets, visit mendoparks.org or call 707-937-4700. That's 707-937-4700. We'll see you this year on the Mushroom Train on the Mendocino Coast.
Wednesday weather forecast: a pleasant day today, mid to upper 70s, mostly sunny skies and light west winds. Mostly clear, cool overnight, 50 to 55 for the low. A little bit cooler Thursday and Friday, low 70s or so. Mostly sunny skies expected Thursday and Friday. Friday night for the trick-or-treaters, it'll be mostly clear in the low 50s or so. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. 33 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:33 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we'll have your KAHI News. We'll have your California Ag Report. More events for the calendar. My gosh, we got a lot going on. It's a spooktacular season. Next hour, dad jokes. You can send yours in now live at KAHI.com or call 530-885-3565. Back with more after this.
More whistleblowing in D.C., the swamp monsters. This is the mating call of the swamp monster now. And as Dr. Clark taught us yesterday, it's not necessarily that the whistle is being blown, but who's blowing the whistle. Or blowing your whistle. It was something in there, and it sounded dirty. So the story I'm going to share with you now, the winner of the Yevgeny Vindeman heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it while he was walking down the hall in the White House Award. Now, a whistleblower inside the Pentagon has sent Fox News more stuff. They must have a real hookup. You think, can we get James O'Keefe to send a hidden camera out to figure out what the hookup is? I mean, there's something going on here. I mean, all these leaks out of the Pentagon going into Fox News for instant reportage to make the president and his minions look bad. Pentagon sent out a memo a month ago. Joe, how do you know this is a whistleblower? Because the email was sent a month ago. And it's only just now when somebody said, I'm so PO'd about this. I'm going to send it to Fox News. Give me the fax machine. Or however they do it. Can we get a screen cap of this? Send it to Brian Kilmeade or whoever. So the guidelines, new guidelines by the Secretary of War at the Pentagon were issued September 30, the day before the government shutdown, in a memo titled, quote, Separation of Employees with Unacceptable Performance. I know you're sitting there saying, and your problem with that is what? So apparently somebody at the Pentagon has got a problem with separating employees of the federal government, the Defense Department, or the Department of War, with unacceptable performance. What a heresy. What a heresy to think that somebody with unacceptable performance could be separated from their job. Oh, what kind of country are we having here? What is this? So the memo issued a month ago, but nobody's covering this. I'm going to send it to Brett Baer. Give me Brett Baer's email address. The memo leaked from the Pentagon from a month ago says supervisors and human resource professionals are directed to act with speed and conviction to facilitate the separation from federal service of employees performing unsuccessfully, reads the memo signed by the Undersecretary of Defense, Anthony Tata, the Pentagon's top personnel policy officer. So he's HR. The memo also states that managers will be held accountable for not addressing poor employee performance. Again, what kind of operation is this? How dare you hold a leader amongst employees accountable if those employees cannot be successful in their job? Keeping in mind, an awful lot of times, what is it Colonel Jessup said? People die. Some managers fear the guidelines, goes Fox News, hand-wringing, trying to get its MSNBC on. Please don't hate us too much. We're kind of like MSNBC light. We're slightly pinker than the usual MSNBC. Some managers feel the guidelines are too broad, where they could be used to fire anyone who does not support the Trump administration's programs. And there it is, boys and girls. That's how you know it's another Anthony or Yevgeny Vindman production. And I'm saying this just in allusion to the congressman and his brother, the whistleblower twins from Trump 1.0, walking down the hall, blowing their whistle, whistling their whistle. Whistler's brothers hear a phone conversation about a phone conversation that somebody else heard while walking down another hallway, and I need to call the press about this immediately. And I understand, you see a memo that says you could be fired for not doing your job, and you're like, oh my God, that's so subjective. In a place like the Pentagon, where things go boom in the night. I mean, this isn't the U.S. Postal Service, where a decision, well, did the mail get delivered on Tuesday or Thursday? Which, if you're a business and you're waiting for people to pay their bills, can be a problem. This is an organization whose whole job it is to come up with the plans, to put it colloquially, send people into theater to kill people and break things. And as Colonel Jessup taught us, if you fail at that mission, people die. You want me on that wall. I know it's too high in the register to be a creditable Jack Nicholson, but at this point, Jack isn't even doing Jack Nicholson impressions anymore. Undersecretary Tata's, excuse me, something got in my eye. I'm sorry. My inner middle schooler is taking over. Sit down. No ice cream if you keep doing this, if you keep acting up. Sorry, I had to discipline my inner middle schooler. The guidance from the Undersecretary of War memo from September 30th, the Pentagon says in a statement to the Washington Post, is in the process of adapting to the new guidance. But they said nothing more about its development. The civilian firings are part of a larger effort by Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth to eliminate the, quote, debris he purports is standing in the way of his mission to carry out Trump's agenda. Again, proving my point that this is a whistleblower because this is all make Trump look bad. Just like the story yesterday in the Vindman files. The Vindman Memorial whistle being blown is all designed to make Trump look bad. DHS and ICE are at one another's throats because the statistics aren't big enough for the president, who it's all he cares about. No, he doesn't. You think the president, obviously the president wants to get people out of the country. But if Corey Lewandowski, in this whistleblower story from yesterday, is not happy with the amount of people Tom Homan has deported to date and what they want to do, and according to the whistleblower, they want to do exactly what the Democrats and the No Kings protests are saying. Just round up everyone. We'll sort them out later. We'll sort them out once we get them into Mexico. Which is exactly, and this is, again, one of those tells, yesterday's story about the ICE and DHS battles. There were tell after tell after tell in this story saying this is some butthurt, nose-out-of-joint swamp monster running around, I have a memo, I have a memo. The memo says you can be fired in the Pentagon if you don't do your job. I don't do my job, people die. According to the memo, it's supposed to make it easier for the Pentagon to fire defense civilian workers, creating additional subjectivity for job performance evaluations. Managers are directed to cite criteria used in federal job evaluations known as Douglas factors. Oh my gosh, you mean there's a known list of criteria that an employee would have to live up to in order to avoid termination? Well, my God. Why don't you just put a bag on their head and say we're going for a ride?
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Now, don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, please go to TotalWellness.com. Supplements made for physicians only now available to you too. TotalWellness.com. Helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
Increase fuel economy up to 7.9% with Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme. The solution to maximize your engine's performance and fuel economy. Whether you're driving a sports car or a daily commuter, Gasoline Extreme is specially formulated with PEA to deep clean. Don't settle for an average driving experience. Upgrade to Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme and go further on each tank. Order now on Amazon or HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
And good Wednesday morning to you. It is October 29th, and it is 15 minutes to the top of the hour, 6:45 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Lincoln. Currently 50 degrees right now. Looking for a high today of 79 degrees. All right, let's take another look at events for the calendar. Yeah, this one's coming up on Saturday, November 1st. If you haven't heard, well, you're about to. Antsy McLean and the Trailer Park Troubadours. It's the umpteenth Halloween Bash. And this is sponsored by the Sugar Plump Fairies, and this is from the Auburn State Theater on stage at the State Presents. Again, Antsy McLean and the Trailer Park Troubadours, umpteenth Halloween Bash, November 1st. That's a Saturday at 7 p.m. By the way, this is a 21 and over event. Antsy McLean brings his fun-loving trailer park troubadours to Auburn's Oddfellow Lodge number 7 for their acclaimed umpteenth Halloween bash. Come in costume and be ready to party. They're going to take you on a ride through Pineview Heights, the friendliest trailer park in America, with their original songs and audience participation for an evening that you're going to be talking about for a long time. Sponsored by the ever-fabulous Sugar Plum Fairies. This is a 21 and over event. Producer Shane, are you running sound for this one? Do you know anything about this one here?
I am not.
Okay.
Yeah.
You probably know.
I've seen it on the schedule.
Okay.
Somebody else is doing it.
Yeah, somebody else is doing it. All right. Listen. Producer Shane can't be everywhere all at once. He's got a lot of things that he has to do. So we'll get updates from somebody else on this one. But this is going to be the backdrop for these characters and stories are the semi-fictional mobile home community called Pineview Heights. It was designed after Antsy McLean's own upbringing, raised by a truck-driving father and an Avon-selling stay-at-home mom. He said, quote, "You can't make this stuff up. It's like the blues. You just gotta live with it." Again, it's going to be on Saturday, November 1st at 7 p.m. Again, it's a 21 and over event. Runtime's about 2.5 hours with intermission. Admission is $50 for adults, $45 for seniors. That's ahead of time. At the door, $60 for adults, $55 for seniors. And there's a VIP experience for $100. Seems like it's going to be a really good time. You can get your tickets online at auburnstatetheater.org, or you can call 530-885-0156. That's 530-885-0156. Antsy McLean and the Trailer Park Troubadours. Again, Saturday, November 1st at the Oddfellows Lodge, number 7, 122 6.5 Lincoln Way here in Auburn. Back with your KAHI News right after this.
Hi, this is Mike Nichols. What are you doing Sunday?
What are you doing Sunday, baby?
Join me for the KAHI Swap Shop this Sunday morning at 8. If you have something to sell, or if you're looking for something, maybe you're having a yard sale, or perhaps you have a freebie you want to give away, you can give me a call and we can chat about it live on the air.
Oh, what do you say now? If it's a nice day now, what are you doing Sunday, baby?
And here's your KAHI News for Wednesday, October 29th. I'm Chris Quant. Law enforcement conduct a search warrant in East LA connected to deadly Esparto explosion. This is from Fox 40 News. A search warrant was conducted in Southern California in connection with the Esparto firework explosions that left 7 people dead in July. On Monday morning, officials from Yolo County and the California State Fire Marshal's office said its investigators executed a search warrant in East Los Angeles that could be connected with the Esparto investigation. Due to the cache of findings of fireworks being so close, law enforcement issued an evacuation order for a school and the surrounding neighborhood. Several items were discovered at the scene that required assistance from bomb squad and fire hazmat teams, and investigators are actively pursuing multiple leads, CAL FIRE officials said. At this time, CAL FIRE said in an email to Fox 40 that it could not share any more information about the search warrant, but wants to let the public know that the agency is committed to a thorough investigation. Oil in the engine car buying scam. 2 arrests made in Northern California. This is also from Fox 40 News. On Monday, the Placer County Sheriff's arrested Lulian Mihai, 19, and Decibal Mihai, 36, both from Fremont, for their alleged involvement in the scam. The scam involves a car buyer causing damage to a seller's vehicle so that they will reduce the selling cost. Last week, a Newcastle resident contacted PCSO after the suspects tried to scam her while buying her vehicle. During the test drive, the car suddenly began to smoke, something it hadn't done before, according to PCSO. Quote, "This is a well-known scam that tricks victims into believing their vehicle has a catastrophic problem, which the all-too-willing suspects are able to take off the victim's hands for a steeply reduced price," unquote, PCSO said. In this case, the victim grew suspicious that the individuals had introduced oil to the vehicle to make it appear something was wrong with the car. The victim reportedly told the suspects to come back another day. That's when the victim contacted deputies. Together, they arranged a follow-up meeting with the suspects in Newcastle. When the pair arrived, they were met instead by deputies and detectives and were promptly arrested. A search of their vehicle revealed counterfeit documents and evidence of identity theft, according to PCSO. Both suspects were arrested and booked into the Placer County Jail for alleged theft-related crimes, conspiracy, and fraud charges. Back with more news after this.
Dealing with stress, dealing with Halloween, dealing with exercise. It all comes together on Pop Talk this week. Hi, Mary Jane Pop here. The inside story of being a White House reporter and all it takes to deal with it. It's a wild and crazy story. And the possibility of being nominated for a Grammy at 77? You'll meet him on Pop Talk. And what a story. That's Saturday, 5 to 7 a.m., Sunday, 9 to 11 p.m., and 24/7 at KAHI.com. It's all about life.
Because KAHI cares, here's another KAHI Community Bulletin Board.
Placer Independent Resource Services needs volunteers to assist seniors and people with disabilities. As a peers volunteer, you'll be installing items in homes to improve safety and access and help with fall prevention. Safety items may include grab bars, offset door hinges, threshold ramps, smoke detectors, and lever-style faucets and door handles, and so much more. Volunteers need to have basic construction or handyman skills. No work is done that requires going up a ladder or on a roof or under a building. To apply as a volunteer or obtain more information about the program, please call Dawn Wixon or Michelle Irwin at Peers, 530-885-6100. That's Dawn Wixon or Michelle Irwin at Placer Independent Resource Services, 530-885-6100.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins.
A lot of people, have their pets sleep in the bedroom with them. How many people that do that are distracted by their pets during,
I think I'd be out of the room. My squirt bottle nearby.
Excuse me? I'm not.
Crack it up and boom, boom, boom.
Let's just have a moment of silence and leave that alone like adults.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins.
Weekdays from 1 to 4 on the Voice of the Foothills.
FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. Not the bedtime squirt bottle. Jeez.
Continuing now with your KAHI News from the Morning Brew, Hurricane Melissa hit Jamaica as a Category 5. The historic storm barreled into Jamaica on Wednesday morning with wind speeds of 185 miles an hour, making it the most powerful hurricane ever to hit the country. It flooded roads and bridges and led to widespread internet outages, among other damages to infrastructure. Officials said that many Jamaicans ignored evacuation orders, with less than half of the country's 800 shelters occupied as of yesterday, the New York Times reported. Because of power outages and other issues caused by the storm, it may be difficult to immediately know the extent of the damage and loss of life. A UN agency described it as, quote, the storm of the century, unquote. It fell to a Category 3 storm before re-strengthening to a Category 4 as it approached Cuba. The country planned to evacuate 500,000 people to safety as it prepared for an overnight landfall. Gaza ceasefire breaks down as Netanyahu orders strikes on Hamas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered the military to conduct, quote, powerful strikes, unquote, against Hamas in Gaza yesterday after an official accused Hamas of attacking Israeli soldiers. Hamas responded to the strikes by saying it would delay returning the body of a hostage. The Associated Press also reported that tank fire and explosions could be heard in various parts of Gaza. The developments put the U.S. brokered ceasefire in doubt a little more than 2 weeks since it began. The slow return of hostages' bodies has prevented the ceasefire from moving on to addressing issues like Gaza's future governance, the AP reported. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton sued Tylenol maker Johnson & Johnson, claiming the company failed to warn consumers about a link between the drug and autism, which is unproven. A federal judge extended an order that temporarily blocks President Trump from firing thousands of federal workers during the government shutdown. Polymarket plans to return to the U.S., quote, within weeks, unquote, Bloomberg reported, as prediction markets rapidly grow in popularity. And the Toronto Blue Jays won Game 4 of the World Series 6-2 after making life difficult for the Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani, who was Los Angeles' starting hitter and starting pitcher for the game. Toronto and LA are tied now at 2 games apiece. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is defenestration, meaning the action of throwing someone out of a window. Yikes. And that's your KAHI News for this Wednesday, October 29th. I'm Chris Quant. On now to the California Ag Report.
It's time for California Ag Today on the Ag Information Network. I am Haley Ship. Every fall, California fields burst with orange as pumpkins take their star turn, lining farmers' markets, brightening porches, and flavoring the season's favorite treats. What began as an old Irish tale of Jack of the Lantern carved from turnips has become an all-American tradition and a thriving farm economy. Now, California does rank among the nation's top pumpkin-producing states, joining Illinois, Indiana, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. Together, they grow about 2/3 of all U.S. pumpkins, roughly 1.4 billion pounds in 2024. From the Central Valley to the coast, California growers focus on fresh ornamental pumpkins for carving and decoration, while Illinois leads in processing for canned pie filling. According to the American Farm Bureau's market intel, pumpkins generated more than $274 million in value nationwide last year. But even in sunny California, farmers face rising costs, labor shortages, and weather risks that can make or break a harvest. Still, when golden fields give way to glowing jack-o'-lanterns, it's clear. California's farmers keep autumn shining bright, one pumpkin at a time.
For over 40 years, the Ag Information Network has been providing news and information for the most important industry in the world, agriculture. The Ag Information Network gives you worldwide updates from local producers to regional organizations, from major crops like wheat and corn to animal agriculture to specialty crops like apples, almonds, and cherries. We report on stories that mean the most to you. Online at aginfo.net, the Ag Information Network, trusted and transparent journalism lasting for the next generation. For the last 40 years, the Ag Information Network has been the source of news for farmers and ranchers. Yet we have never seen such an assault on farming and our food supply as we do today. From fuel to fertilizer, farmers are facing unprecedented economic challenges. This is why agriculture news that farmers receive comes from the Ag Information Network, reaching coast to coast. Deep roots in farming and decades of reporting, the Ag Information Network, trusted and transparent journalism for generations.
This is California Ag Today on the Ag Information Network. I am Haley Ship. For more ag news, check us out online at aginfo.net.
This is Stephen Hill. Catch Hearts of Space, Sunday nights at 8, here on the all-new FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. The same voice of the foothills, more powerful than ever.
We all know that money spent on politicians is nothing more than a bribe. Citizens United called it free speech, but we know better. But what if we could balance the scale a few bucks at a time? That's what we're doing at the Six Pack, taking small donations and adding them up to make things more fair. Crack open some change. Support the Six Pack. Paid for by the Six Pack, which is responsible for the content of this advertising. www.thesixpack.com. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
At Sunrise Natural Foods, those 55 and better save 15% every Wednesday, and everyone can save on hundreds of products throughout the store every day. Save 25% on all Buried Treasure products, 30% on all new Chapter products, and 30% on all Now products. These are just a few of the everyday savings you'll find at Sunrise Natural Foods in Auburn and in Roseville, or at sunrisenaturalfoods.net. Sunrise Natural Foods, made with life's best ingredients.
FM 104.5, K2A3CM, Auburn, and AM 950, KAHI, Auburn.
Wake up, it's Chris in the morning light. On KAHI, a day starts right. Foothill news and a smile or two, with a dad joke fresh and the weather too. He's the voice of the hills, keeping it real. Local talk with hometown feel. So grab your coffee, don't
Ooh, it's a
hit
singing type of day.
snooze.
Okay,
Crisp
here we
in
go.
the morning with your daily news.
Big Finish! And good Wednesday morning to you. It is October 29th, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 7 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills, Chris Quant, with you here, holding it down in beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic, and very, very spacious Studio A, KAHI Studios, downtown Auburn, peering through the Venetian blinds at, well, it's getting a little bit lighter out there. We'll see what kind of day we're looking like today with meteorologist Tim Root here in just a little bit. We'll check in on the weather. It should be a pretty mild day today. It's going to be a little bit warmer than yesterday, so if you're heading out, yeah, just dress in layers. But if you're a producer, Shane, well, it doesn't matter what the weather's looking like. You're showing up in flip-flops. Shane, good morning. How are you?
Doing great, Chris.
Even through the winter, I hear, even through well, at least the Auburn level snow,
Exactly.
flip-flops will still exist and will still last. Shane, making it to the gym. Props to you, man, for doing the gym runs, getting out there and getting to the gym early in the morning. Yeah, movement is so important. I don't know, Shane, as you probably figured as we get a little bit later on in years here. Do you stretch? Do you do a lot of stretching before you?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to do I do a little bit. I should probably stretch more every morning just to stretch.
Mhm.
I don't either. I should probably do that. But I hear it's good for you.
What I've heard is dynamic stretching. In other words, forms of movement
Yeah.
in the morning is good, or before a workout is good.
Yeah.
Static stretching, where you just stretch and hold something,
Yeah.
can actually make you tighter. And
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, good thing I don't do it then. I don't do a lot of that. I do. I have been going on. I know it's we've got daylight savings time coming this weekend, by the way. So heads up. I know. Can we just not?
Just pick one.
Can we
I don't
just
even care
not?
which one we pick.
I
Just
know.
pick one.
Just pick one. I was thinking about that the other day. Okay, so I watched this video the other day. Go with me on this one. This guy was making an argument, and he said, I am going to make this argument until the day that I die. And I think that we should put this in with legislation along with let's just keep daylight savings time or let's get rid of it.
Yeah.
And like, I would just be fine keeping it the way it is. There's still light in the evening when I get off work and I can still go on about a 30-minute walk after I get off of work. I know that's not going to be the case next week because doggone it, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go to work in the dark and I'm going to be getting off work in the dark. And it's so depressing. But this guy said, he's like, all right, go with me on this one. He said, I propose that we swap Valentine's Day and Christmas, and here's why. And I said, okay. You have me. That was the opening line. Like
sure.
That hook, you have my attention, sir. And he's like, here's why. And I say that we put this just roll this in the legislation with getting rid of daylight savings time. He's like, here's why. Okay, you have the first day of winter is December 22nd or something like that. So like 3 days later, we're just starting winter. We're just starting into the dark time. 3 days later, we're into Christmas. So you've got Christmas there, and it's all the lights are up and the jingles and everything. And then everything ends. It's New Year's, and we're just like in the dredge of winter. It's just dark. And until we start to hit spring, he's like, here's the thing. We swap Christmas with Valentine's Day. You put Valentine's Day where Christmas would be. Everybody's looking for a sweetheart. Everybody, you've got your sweetheart. You got all this thing. You're in that mode. It's cozy. Things are just starting to get warm. So you snuggle with your sweetie, as we hear on the Little River Inn commercials there. Snuggle with your sweetie. And then you've got something, what is it? Cuffing season or chuffing season or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know about it.
It's basically where you're looking for a romantic partner. I think I'll have to look it up. Could be one of these Gen Z terms that I'm trying to learn here. But basically, then you've got New Year's. So you've got New Year's Eve. You've got your sweetheart to kiss there for New Year's Eve. And then he's like, think about it. Now we've got 6 weeks of lights up, holiday music, everybody's in a great mood. Then we have Christmas when Valentine's would be then, and then you've just got a few more weeks until spring and you're done. And I was like, actually, son of a gun, that makes sense.
Some sense, yeah.
Right? Like he's like, Jesus could just be born a little bit later. Like I think we kind of arbitrarily picked a day in December to put him there anyway. So like, is that the official date? No, we just decided that was going to be the end of the. Well, let's be honest. They just put it on a pagan holiday that they wanted to just take over and reclaim for something else, like that had to do with trees. Like let's cut a tree, something on the outside, and let's bring that on the inside. So it's like I actually would be up for that. So in the heart of winter and in the darkness, and when you do think about it, because we don't have the traditions here, but in Europe they have the holiday extends way into January. That they keep going. There's still the season like until January, like mid-January, it keeps going. Not like December is just the start of it, but then they keep on going. So it does make sense. Like you keep the light going throughout the dark of winter, the dark of winter. And so I could get on board with that. I could get rid of daylight saving times, what I'm amazed we haven't done yet. I don't know why that doesn't get taken care of. I will not get off of that soapbox. And then 2, let's just swap Christmas with Valentine's Day and just keep the 6 weeks of Christmas music after New Year's going. The lights are up. All the Christmas lights are up. Shoot, one year I left the lights up on my house the entire year. So let's do something like that. I don't know. How does that strike you? I actually was on board for that. I thought he made a pretty valid argument
there's some
there.
Good arguments in there. I still probably wouldn't do it, but
okay.
I mean, and your whole, Europeans Christmas goes into January. Well, Americans, we start in August, at least on Walmart and other big stores.
That is a good point. But see, but again, it's so
totally different.
Dumb. It's so dumb because it's like the whole thing is it's winter, right? Like let's bring in the season of light. Let's bring in all the lights on the yards of tree. August, it's still light until 9:00 at night.
No, I know.
We've got pumpkin spice everything to carry us all the way through New Year's, right? Like let's stretch out the fall a little bit more. I love fall. Let's keep that going. And then in the heart of winter, son of a gun, I'm throwing my pen now, producer Shane. I feel so passionately about this. I'm gonna sign the guy's petition if he ever gets one going. I'm gonna sign his petition. I could get behind it though.
Yeah, somebody is about 15 years ago now. I saw a proposal, it might be older than that, for a way to abolish daylight savings time and put the entire country on 2 time zones.
That would be interesting.
Which means New York would only be 1 hour ahead of us.
Wouldn't that throw off? But isn't the whole world split into 24? That's why we have the 24-hour clock.
It doesn't really matter, to be honest. I mean, like some larger countries, we'll have 1 time zone, even though for the whole country, because it's.
I guess because we have the clock established. Nobody's going to be getting off of that. That's a good point.
The whole point of the clock is to have universal point in time understanding.
Yeah.
But there's no hard and fast rule that business must open at 8 a.m. Some businesses open at 7. Some businesses open at 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that your local culture can't adjust to whatever the clock says.
Right.
And
that's a good point.
And the time to have done this was actually, because the idea was,
I remember you saying this.
Yeah, the time to have done it back was when we all still watched TV
just
together.
8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central,
exactly.
right?
Yeah. Half the country was already on effectively the same time zone. There were 2 different time zones.
Yeah, I always felt left out being on the West Coast. I'm like, what time do we do it then? When are we watching this dang show?
Yeah, as a kid, it threw me off until my parents explained time zones and the tape delays and all that. I'm like, oh, okay, so we just listened to 8.
I constantly have to do this, though, because for work, when I'm writing out an email, I mean, it's become more secondhand now, but like when you're dealing with people across the entire country, and don't even get me started with teammates that are in Poland, by the way. Like, I'm like, I think your day's ending when my day's starting, so fair enough. But like with a lot of our customers, there's a lot on the East Coast. I mean, they're all over. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, okay, and here's the thing. Here's where I learned the difference between East Coast and West Coast. Honestly, was my grandparents spent the summers over at my grandparents' house, and they would have Rush Limbaugh on every day. And I know, and somehow I tuned into the fact as a kid growing up listening, they'd always have it on. It was always in the background. But I knew that Rush, it always started at 9 o'clock in the morning here, but it was 12 o'clock in New York when he went on the air. So I don't know how that was made obvious, but it was like, oh, well, if it's 9 o'clock here, it's 3 hours difference time here. So forever, like whenever I'm writing an email, even to this day, I was just doing this yesterday and I was trying to convert to East Coast time. I will start at 9 o'clock in the morning and think, okay, if it's 9 o'clock here, it's 12 o'clock there, and I'll use that to orient myself, all based on Rush Limbaugh's dang program that my grandparents listened to with Tom Sullivan after that, by the way. Every day on KFBK, we listen to that. And so that's how I orient myself between West Coast and East Coast time is starting at 9 a.m. and then going from there. But yeah, you're right. Like, it would be so much easier if I didn't have to, like, okay, it's 3 hours ahead. Okay, if it's mountain time, okay, if I have coworkers in mountain time, okay, it's only an hour ahead. Say, oh, Central time. Good Lord. Central is just this oddity of, and my parents live in Central time. I'm like, okay, what hour is it? 2 hours ahead there? I can't even remember anymore. Just like, yeah, I'll call you. And especially if I'm trying to call them at night, I'm like, oh shoot, what time is it there? Because it's not as, I'm always equating them with East Coast time. So they might as well be.
So it's Rush Limbaugh now. Subtract an hour.
I know, right? Yeah. Just take Rush
3
Limbaugh.
minus 1.
Yeah, it's yeah. Well, isn't it funny though? Like the things that we learn early on in our lives, it just sticks with us. But then the hoops that we have to jump through to make these things work across different. I get it. First world problems. Oh, boo hoo! You're trying to compose an email and convert time zones. But you're right. I actually would get on board with that too. Like, let's just wrap all of this into just one giant petition and the powers that be. And why can't we be the powers that be that decide that? For
what I love was. What was it, 3 or 4 years ago when the U.S. Senate passed by voice vote to just stick on daylight savings time year round, and everybody just voted, which was so shocking because the bill itself was like a paragraph. It was like one of the shortest bills in the history of America. The second thing to that was the fact that everybody just went along with the crowd like lemmings and like didn't pay attention to what they were actually voting on, which says a lot about our government.
That's kind of terrifying to think about. Like, they said I say yeah. What are we talking about? I don't know.
But I mean, at the same time, it's like, oh man, they near unanimous on a voice vote said yes. Let's just stay on daylight savings year round. Why didn't they get that over to the House fast enough?
I know. It was so close.
I should have gotten it over to the House and just
so frustrating.
Ran it through real fast.
So frustrating. I'm with you on that. I will. There's some soapboxes I will get on, and I will not get off on, and that is one of them.
Yeah,
right
me
there.
too.
I'm absolutely for it.
The argument that always drives me nuts is, okay, well, kids are walking to school in the dark in the morning. So we need to change. I'm like, change your school.
Yeah. Change
your local problems.
We can do it. Yeah, we can adapt. We can change. We've done it before. We can make it happen again, for crying out loud. All right, 12 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:12 a.m. I'm sure I don't know where he stands on this issue, but I know where he stands on weather, and that's to give us a weather update every day. It's meteorologist Tim Root. Timmy, how are we looking out there today?
Wednesday weather forecast, a pleasant day today, mid to upper 70s, mostly sunny skies and light west winds. Mostly clear, cool overnight, 50 to 55 for the low. A little bit cooler Thursday and Friday, low 70s or so. Mostly sunny skies expected Thursday and Friday. Friday night for the trick-or-treaters, it'll be mostly clear in the low 50s or so. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Looking for style, savings, and something for everyone? Come to Auburn's department store, McCullough's. From fashion to furniture, beauty to bedding. Find it all under one roof with plenty of parking. And right now, save up to 50% store-wide during McCullough's summer kickoff sale. Family owned and operated. So save time, gas, and money by shopping McCullough's department store in the Auburn Town Center right off of Elm.
Everyone deserves access to quality health. But for half the world's population, essential health services are out of reach. At AmeriCares, we know access to quality health saves and improves lives. With good health, people can attend school, be productive at work, care for their families, and contribute to strong communities. That's why we envision pathways to health and opportunity for all. We care. It's our call to action. It's in our history. It's in our name, AmeriCares. AmeriCares about disaster survivors, about free medical aid, what doctors need, our communities, our neighbors, our families. AmeriCares about good health. For a better world. Learn more at americares.org/goodhealth. Together, we can build pathways to health. americares.org/goodhealth. Join us.
14 minutes. Well, now it's 15 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:15 a.m. Shane, we got on our soapbox there. I totally forgot all about, well, if it's your birthday today, come on. Let's not mess over that just because we have our, drum that we want to bang. My gosh, let's not forget birthdays today. If today is your birthday, happy stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic day today. If you were born today, you share a birthday. Oh, American treasure, Bob Ross. Bob Ross born today. Do you ever watch The Joy of Painting at all on?
I watched it once.
On PBS? Really? Oh, do yourself a favor.
Well, I went on YouTube and watched it a couple months. Like, what's the big?
Oh,
what's the hubbub about,
it's just, I don't know. It just brings your blood pressure down. If you're having a bad day, just turn Bob Ross on. Here's a quote from Bob Ross. It's the imperfections that make something beautiful. That's what makes it different and unique from everything else. But I think I would try and say it like Bob Ross. I don't know if... It's the imperfections. No, I can't even do a Bob Ross. I was going to try to get that right over here. Anyway, Bob Ross, love it. SDRs are sales development representatives. They're kind of like the entry levels to sales on the early days of our company. They're just dialing for dollars. It's just cold calls all day long. It takes a special kind. You got to be, I feel like a younger person to do that, where you can just take rejection and just keep going. But they used to have, because it was kind of stressful, they would have Bob Ross up on the TVs playing in the background, The Joy of Painting. Nice. To keep that going. Other birthdays today include Richard Dreyfuss. American actor. Jaws. I think he was in Jaws. Was he in Jaws?
I never saw Jaws.
Me either. But he was at Mr. Holland's Opus, though.
That's what I think of.
Yeah, I remember him from Mr. Holland's Opus. He was born 1947. Bob Ross, 1942. I can't remember if I said what year he was born. Let's see. Kate Jackson, American actress, 1948, and Winona Ryder, 1971. So happy birthday to them, and happy birthday to you on this, the October 29th. It was Black Tuesday, I think, was in this day in history where the stock market crashed. Yeah, it wasn't great. That was in 1929, and the first ticker tape parade took place in New York City when office workers spontaneously throw ticker tape onto the streets. That was after the Statue of Liberty was dedicated. That was in 1886. And Shane, by the way, on this day in history, in 1969, the first early internet connection, ARPANET, was made. Do you know much about that? I figured maybe as a engineering guy you would.
Pre-internet network.
Yeah.
It was started by the military and some universities.
Yeah, at the university. So, it was computers located between UCLA, Stanford Research Institute, and UC Santa Barbara, and the University of Utah too. Well, that's interesting. You kind of wonder how those. I mean, it makes sense. They're all in kind of Silicon Valley, what's now known as Silicon Valley here in California. But the University of Utah, that's interesting. I don't know if you know this. The very first message sent on this day in 1969 was an attempt to log in from UCLA to Stanford Research Institute. The message was login, but the system crashed after the first two letters, LO. It couldn't get that far. But then we made jumps and leaps from there. 1971, the first email message was sent over ARPANET, and in 1973, we were forever changed with the first online chat system, and from there on out, we were DMing. From the history would never not know a DM after that. So yeah, on this day, the internet started. And Shane, look how far we've come, for good or for bad. There, we're gonna have Elon Musk has his own version of Wikipedia coming out here, which we might talk about here in a little bit. But a lot going on. Speaking of technology and business and all of those things, it is now 18 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:18 a.m. Let's turn it over now, as we do, to the Fox Business Report.
I'm Taylor Riggs, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Boeing is reporting a weaker quarter. It was impacted by expenses related to the delay of its 777X. Boeing's loss was larger than expected. Commercial deliveries of the wide-body jet were supposed to start late this year. Now it's expected to be delayed into 2027. Kraft Heinz sales weakened in the recent quarter. The company's lowering its full-year outlook. The business is expressing concerns about a pullback in consumer spending. It now sees sales declining this year. Its Oscar Mayer brand has been dealing with higher beef prices. However, people are still eating at Chili's. Parent company Brinker reported an upbeat profit and saw customer traffic up 13%. Earnings rose in the quarter. Chili's has been able to attract customers who see the chain as having a better value. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda. Invested in you.
Did you ever wonder where we get a word like muckety-muck? How about the whole kit and caboodle? I'm Martha Barnett, along with Grant Barrett.
Each week on Away with Words, we try to solve linguistic mysteries.
And we invite you to call us with your questions about language. We want to hear from you about words and phrases, regional dialects, grammar, or maybe that weird family expression you grew up with.
So join us on Away with Words, Saturdays and Sundays at 7 p.m. here on the Voice of the Foothills, AM 950 KAHI.
20 minutes past the top of the hour. Shane and I were just trying to think of some themes for dad jokes, and I said, well, let's see if we can get AI to make some dad jokes about the internet, Shane. But then I thought, can we get AI to roast itself?
That's that question.
Can we get AI to make some dad jokes about itself? We'll see. You can send yours in as well, live at KAHI.com, LIVE at KAHI.com, or you can call 530-885-3565. Speaking of the internet, our trivia today is around searches on the internet. You know, Polymarket, the predictions website, they're supposed to be coming back to the U.S. Well, people, you can just bet on just about anything, and there's bets out there about who the most searched person on the internet is going to be this year. So they're the top three. We'll talk about that. We've got some trivia coming up just to do our little mental exercises. Nobody, don't Google it. Or whatever the next iteration of searching online is going to be. We'll be back with more after this.
Happy anniversary, Naturewood! Since 1948, the Keys family vision lives on at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where you'll always find the best choices, quality, value, and service. Come join our celebration now during our 77th anniversary sale. Almost everything is on sale at Naturewood. Special store-wide savings on all sofas, bedrooms, dining rooms, home office, accents, and a bunch more. We'll invite you to meet our entire Naturewood family, and now in our 5th generation. Tell them Brooklyn Nova and Orion sent you.
Hi, this is Andrew Twidwell, owner of ABT Plumbing, Electric, Heat, and Air. ABT has been in business since 2001, and we are thrilled to have been voted Auburn's best plumbing company and best heating and cooling company in Auburn Journal's Best of Auburn promotion. We're very proud to have placed as runner-up in electrical category as well. Our technicians are experienced and friendly. If you have an issue with your plumbing, need a whole house generator, or maybe your furnace isn't working, give ABT a call. Reach us at 530-230-9004 for excellent service. It really is as easy as ABT.
22 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:22 a.m. We're having a little too much fun here in between these covers. we got some good dad jokes coming up. Hey, good morning to you, Nevada City. Currently 55 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 78 degrees. So it's going to be a little bit warmer out there. Speaking of Nevada City, let's talk about another event for the calendar. It's the 4th annual Nevada City's Oddities Show that returns to the Miners Foundry Cultural Center. That's going to be on Sunday, November 2nd. From 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Shane, I don't know why I think like this might be up your alley. This might be your vibe. It feels kind of like the tiki-ish type stuff where there's just kind of different fun things out there. Some of this looks kind of weird, actually. I don't know if that's your vibe.
Not tiki.
Yeah,
that's more.
That's not tiki, but it's like I don't know, moon. Kind of new agey type thing. I don't know. Maybe not.
The hat gives a little steampunk.
It's steampunk. Yeah, that's it.
The parts are giving more like goth.
Okay, yeah, maybe that's true. Yeah, steampunk clown, I think, is what this person is doing here. But it's going to be on Sunday, November 2nd. If you want to look at some oddities from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., it's called Not Your Grandparents' Craft Show. Calling all seekers of strange and unusual, be amazed by the curious creatures and incomparable things in art, culture, and entertainment. Witness the bizarre, mystifying, and unique as the most stunning venue in Northern California's Mother Lode. The Miners Foundry actually is a really great venue there. Host the most immersive, innovative, and full sensory, multi-interdimensional, my gosh, experiential, daring, how many adjectives can we have for this thing? Interesting, magnificent, and highly curated oddities and curiosities market west of the Mississippi. I would love to know who they gave the assignment to write out this promo. They did not skimp on anything here. Previous 2022 through 2024 Nevada City Oddities show drew over 2,000 attendees throughout the day, so be prepared for a party of astonishing proportions with several thousands of your closest friends. Whoever wrote this up, Shane, I want them to write up my next promo because this is really good. Again, it's going to be at the Miners Foundry Cultural Center. That's at 325 Spring Street there in Nevada City. It's under the category of Fair, Festival, and Gala. It's going to be, just depending on what you want to buy. It could be from $10 to $140 there, depending on what treasures you find there. You can find more online at the menagerieodditiesmarket.com, the menagerieodditiesmarket.com. Ooh, this sounds like an interesting one. It sounds like a unique one. Maybe it's up your alley there. It's the 4th annual Nevada City Oddities Show at the Miners Foundry Cultural Center. Again, that's going to be Sunday, November 2nd from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. All right, we'll be back with more right after this. We got some trivia coming up. Stay tuned.
Come in. Oh, great master, I have traveled far to seek your wisdom. Speak to me.
Close the door. It's cold.
Sir, I crave the meaning of life.
How do you earn your bread, my son?
Well,
do you till the soil?
No.
Do you tend sheep?
I'm in advertising, sir.
Advertising. Fascinating.
And, sir, I'm in a big hurry. I have to be in Fiji tomorrow to shoot a television commercial.
Fiji?
Yeah, we found a place there that looks exactly like Columbus, Ohio.
Why not go to Columbus, Ohio?
Look, I'm just here for some wisdom.
All right, let me check my wisdom book, see what we can find.
Thank you. Yeah.
Go with radio.
What?
Looks to me like a fantastic buy.
I wanted important wisdom.
This is important. Listen, newspaper cost per thousand is up 99% since 1967. TV is up 90%,
sir.
but radio cost is only up 38%.
38%.
And it says radio's audience is bigger than ever.
But what about happiness and stuff?
Use radio. It's great impact at a price you can still afford, and you'll be very happy.
That's it?
Yeah, and when you go out, close the door real tight, because it's cold in here and I got a runny nose.
Next time you're talking to an authority on advertising, ask about radio. It's right on the button. A message from the Radio Advertising Bureau.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris in the Morning, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Get all the local news, weather, traffic, interviews, and local event reminders you can handle, plus a healthy dose of daily dad jokes. Chris in the Morning, 6 to 9 a.m. here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills. I never miss it, and neither should you. My goodness, it's early.
It's kind of early, 27 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:27 a.m. Hey, good morning to you, Shingle Springs. Currently 53 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 79 degrees. All right, Shane, I love it. Shane's just getting cracked up over there by some of these I'm looking forward to some of these dad jokes that are coming up here. It sounds like they're going to be good. AI roasting itself, basically.
Problem is that now I actually have a few too many for that.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll have to stretch it into tomorrow too. Let's we could extend it. We could do a part 2. That's cool. Hey, let's before we get to our daily dad jokes here in just a little bit. Again, you can send yours in live at KAHI.com or call 530-885-3565. Yes, all the phone lines are back up and working again. Shane, today's trivia is on Polymarket. This is from the Morning Brew, by the way. Who is the betting favorite to be the most searched person on Google this year? How about number 2 and number 3? So we'll pay this off a little bit later, but just start to think now, and no Googling it, by the way, or what is it? Binging, or I don't know what Google is the only thing that I use. Anyway, it's who's going to be, basically people are betting on who's going to be the most searched person on Google this year. Who's the odds-on favorite? They'll list that out. How about number 2, number 3? Any early guesses for number 1? Who you think would be the most searched for person on the internet this year? I was thinking it was going to be like Elon Musk or somebody like that. I was going to think maybe Netanyahu or Trump or something like that. It's not who I thought it was. Not even close to who I thought it was. So we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But Shane, let's not delay it anymore. Let's get right to producer Adam. Cut the music. Hang on. Let's get to our daily dad jokes here. I can't just to hear your snickering coming from over that side of Studio A over there. I can't wait to hear what our daily dad jokes are for AI roasting itself. We were talking about today is Internet Day. On this day in 1969, ARPANET was formed between 4 universities, most of them here in California, the other one, the University of Utah. The first message was sent on this day in 1969, login. It crashed after the LMAO. So, we've made some leaps and bounds since then. So, some dad jokes around the internet. Let's get the internet to roast itself, Shane. What do you got over there?
Siri and Alexa went on a date once. It ended when neither could find the location.
and this was us asking, and by us I mean you asking AI.
I asked ChatGPT, give me some dad jokes about AI, and it gave me some were good, some were lame, like it usually is. And then I said, okay. Then it offered the prompt of, do you want me to have ChatGPT, Alexa, Google Home, and the other and Siri going at each other? I said yes.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. It's a battle of the AI wits here. Okay. How about the next one here?
Alexa said she's always listening. Yeah, that's what my ex's lawyer said too.
I love how it's just roasting Alexa.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I'll have a non-interval. We'll break it up here with some Halloween ones. Well, what did the invitation to the ghost party say?
I don't know, what did it say?
Bring your own booze.
Should have got that.
There we go. I know, right? How about another internet joke here?
Alexa flirts like Roomba. Circles you for a while, then bumps into the couch.
I'm going to have to think about that one for a second. Okay. I'm reading a horror story in Braille. Something bad is going to happen. I can feel it.
Nice.
Got another one there? Got any more internet jokes over there?
Siri told me she's my biggest competition. Bless her heart, she still thinks she's funny.
Have you ever done this? Here we go. If I could get her to work. Siri, tell me a joke.
What do you get when you cross a centipede with a parrot? A walkie-talkie.
There you go. Apparently, Siri interrupted my iPad here as well, and now I can't get to play again. Here we go. All right, yeah, it completely.
Need to unlock your iPhone first.
Nope. Thanks, Siri. We're good. Thank you. Can I get? Nope, Siri, get off the Okay, all right. I didn't expect the ramifications, Shane, of Siri completely locking up my iPad here. Okay, and rebooting the system, restarting the system. That went way worse than I thought it would. Shane, save me here. What's another joke here?
Siri,
there we go.
Siri said she doesn't need therapy. I said, sweetie, you invented gaslighting.
Oh, sick burn. Okay, and one more just to finish off the day here.
Siri's idea of multitasking is telling you can't do it. Is telling you it can't do that while you're still talking.
Yeah, I can't. It's so true. Siri is so useless sometimes. I didn't mean that, Siri. You're great. You're fantastic. And if you want to send yours in, if you've got any internet dad jokes, send them in. Or Halloween dad jokes, send them in as we're working up to Halloween here. live@khi.com or 530-885-3565. Back with more right after this.
Catch Sinatra and Friends, Saturdays and Sundays, right here on 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI. Join Frank and his friends, Sammy, Dean, Tony Bennett, and more, performing songs from the Great American Songbook. Sinatra and Friends Weekends, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings on Folsom Boulevard in Rancho Cordova. Right here on the Voice of the Foothills, 104.5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com.
Wednesday weather forecast, a pleasant day today, mid to upper 70s, mostly sunny skies and light west winds. Mostly clear, cool overnight, 50 to 55 for the low. A little bit cooler Thursday and Friday, low 70s or so. Mostly sunny skies expected Thursday and Friday. Friday night for the trick-or-treaters, it'll be mostly clear in the low 50s or so. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Hello,
Hello, KAHI listeners. This is Ann Hidalgo, your host of A Time for Seniors. You might be used to hearing us at 6 a.m. on Saturdays, but we moved to 12 noon. A Time for Seniors is your local senior resource show bringing you all the important information concerning seniors. We talk health, financials, medical, keep you updated on current scams, hear inspirational stories, and laugh at ourselves a little. So tune in Saturdays at noon on FM 104.5 and AM 950, KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
34 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:34 a.m. Okay, Shane, you found another category. Let's just extend it just a little bit more because this is, this hurts.
Yeah,
this hurts.
So ChatGPT gave me the follow-on option prompt of, want me to take it one level higher with AI roasting humans next?
Oh.
Fair warning, it gets brutally accurate. So here's a couple. Humans invented the internet, then spent it arguing with strangers and watching cats fall off furniture.
That's true. That's true.
You call it multitasking. I call it forgetting what you were doing 4 tabs ago.
That happened to me yesterday. Yep, that is so true.
You brag about unplugging, but panic when the Wi-Fi drops for 10 seconds.
Yep, that's true. That's
Right.
that's right.
I'm going to save the rest of them. But
Fair warning, that hurts.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll save those for tomorrow. We'll keep it going as we do our. Oh boy, that hurt. I did. I was working on something yesterday at work, and I went down. I got distracted by something else, and was like, "Oh man, there was just 2 things that I wanted to get back to." And so, as I was going through the tabs on my browser, it opened up to the task that I was like, "Oh yeah, that's what I needed to do." And it was like 20 minutes later. Oh yeah, that's what I was trying to remember. Speaking of the internet, the first internet message. The internet was basically born on this day. ARPANET happened on this day. Many years ago, 1969. So just shortly after we landed on the moon. Yeah, we did that in July of '69. And it's Shane, it's so crazy to think like the technology and the computing power that the space shuttle, the landing module had there, the LEM, and the command module there that they had on top of those Apollo rockets. Absolutely incredible to think what they had and what they were able to do with that. And now we're trying to go back to the moon and we keep blowing up rockets.
Well, I think part of it was the simplicity of it all. I think that's the thing we oftentimes forget about now is like, I don't know the details of our rockets, but I imagine they're very complex.
I would imagine so, yeah.
I'm not saying the Apollo ones weren't. They definitely were complex. But there's a lot of simplicity in what they did, though, too. Like the computer that was in the command module LEM, I forget which one, was actually less powerful than my HP 48 calculator.
I was going to say, any like our TI-80 calculators or whatever. Yeah,
that's more powerful than what
than
was in the module. But that's
Isn't that wild?
But that's what they needed, and that's all they needed
right.
to get the job done. Whereas,
Right.
like, if you took an iPhone, it's a billion times more capable, but there's a billion times more opportunities for it to make a mistake, too, because there's all these other edge cases and things to glitch and whatever. So
yeah, and the amount of and I can imagine. Well, I don't know if there's any shortcuts to that, but I remember hearing the amount of wiring that went into the command module and to the LEM and all that was just an extraordinary amount of wiring. And to think that this is pointed out often that all went to the lowest bidder.
I know.
Is absolutely wild. And the fact that if you misplaced your foot, you could send it through the floor of the lunar landing module, the LEM, was always very interesting to me. Actually, I saw on Netflix Apollo 13 is on there now, and I'm gonna force my son to sit down and watch it. I'm gonna say we're gonna watch history. Like this is there's a lot of documentaries. I think we'll watch Tom Hanks, America's Dad, do the documentary style of Apollo 13. I thought that was very well done.
It was well
I
done,
remember watching that in theaters. My wife said, "Wait, when was that movie made?" I was like, 95. She's like, 95? I thought it was like 2005. It seems like it was just the other day. But I remember watching that in theaters, and as they're trying to problem solve because their CO2 levels started getting too high in the LEM that they were using for the lifeboat. They had to figure out a way, and it was funny where somebody in the ground control or whatever, mission control said, "Tell me this isn't a government project," because the air filters in the command module were different shapes than the one in the LEM for whatever reason. And so they had to basically on Earth construct and relay the information up to the guys there, basically using a sock, duct tape, and the cover from their instruction manual to basically make a makeshift adapter to make this. And I remember watching this in the theaters, and I think Ron Howard directed that. And it was like it basically the direction on that was so good. I remember catching myself taking short breaths, like, like, oh no, the CO2 levels, right? Like I was that much into it. It's that immersive. So it's such a great film. I'm gonna have my son watch that. But like you can't write a script like that, and like that actually was real life. How that happened, and the fact that they lost radio communication longer than any other craft re-entering the Earth. You're like, oh, they're gone, and then they appeared. It was absolutely incredible. Also, one of Kevin Bacon's better performances, in my opinion. But
I read a book about, I forget if it was about Apollo 13 specifically or all the Apollo missions. Back, I wasn't really into the moon when I was in high school, so I read all this stuff. And when Apollo 13 came out, I was super gung ho. So we saw that in the theater.
Yeah,
but reading the book about whichever book it was about Apollo, I wanted to smoke a cigarette. It was really weird. I mean,
isn't that funny?
I've never smoked a cigarette my entire life to this day. But yet I had this urge to, because it's like you're reading the book, and the reality was in the 60s when they were doing this,
they're chain
smoking, and the consoles even in the mission control had ashtrays at every single position.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you got this, literally even back then, millions of dollars of high tech stuff, and they still got an ashtray and it's coated in cigarette smoke.
I just like looking at some of the pictures from the day, just like a cloud of smoke hanging, and they would lock the doors to the mission control there, and basically nobody was going in or out during these important parts of the mission. And you're right, like maybe the air was just recirculating smoke-filled air. Like these guys were just in a total cloud of smoke. You could have your own rock concert in there with how much smoke they were generating. But you're absolutely right. I actually noticed that in college too, like being around back when I was going to college. Like, I mean, probably a lot more people smoked back then than they do now. I guess vaping, I guess maybe it's evolved to a different form. But I remember, like, same thing. Never smoked a cigarette. Like my friend used to smoke all the time. I think I tried to drag off of one of his cigarettes. I was like, how in the world? This is awful. What is this? But I remember like being around secondhand smoke so much in college that sometimes I noticed I would like, I kind of miss the smell of secondhand smoke, which is weird. Like it's like it was just an awful smell, but I remember getting used to it and not like craving it, but like, oh hey, where is that smell? Not that I miss it, but it was strange. Anyway, it is kind of weird how you kind of have that weird craving, and I don't know why. All right, here, let's talk a little bit about our trivia here. Shane, did you have any guesses there? Our trivia question for today is on Polymarket, where you can basically make bets here. Who is the betting favorite to be the most searched person on Google this year? How about number 2 and number 3? Any guesses on the number 1? I thought it was going to be like Elon Musk. That's not right, by the way.
The only 2 names that come to mind. One is Jesus, because that's pretty much always like a top search.
Okay.
For a person, even though
he
walked on the earth a long time ago.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk would be another guess.
That's a good guess.
A lot of conversations after his passing.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I don't know.
Okay, you're on the Jesus path. Actually, the sandals that you're walking in right now are some good ones there along that path. Pope Leo the 14th.
Oh, okay.
Predicted to be the most searched person on the internet this year. Well, I guess if we go worldwide, because I guess I just have that very American central focus. But you're right. Like Pope Leo the 14th is the odds-on favorite. In second place is Bianca Censori. We might need to Google her. I think she's elected down in Argentina. I think it's South America. No, Mexico? Anyway, she was just in the news recently. And then third is predicted to be Donald Trump. So there you go. There's your top. The top one, the Jesus connection, Shane. You weren't far off. Pope Leo the 14th is the odds-on favorite to be the most searched person here in 2025 on the internets on this Internet Day. All right, we're going to take a little bit of a break. When we come back, we'll have more events for the calendar, your KAHI news, and more. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this. Not that, after this.
Some journeys start small, with small pause and big purpose.
Look how little you are, you sweet girl.
Every great partnership begins with the first step.
Bella, let's go.
Guiding them through the world so one day they can guide someone through life. With shared experience, confidence grows, and the path becomes clear. It takes time, patience, and love. But the reward? lasts a lifetime.
Hey, good girl, Bella.
You don't just raise a puppy. You raise a future. Become a Dogs Inc. puppy raiser. Give a dog a purpose. Give someone hope.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
I can't stay awake any longer, George.
It'll be on right after the Night Owl movie.
It's 4:30 in the morning.
It's a fantastic 10-second commercial, Helen, and I'm standing right there pointing to the car. Gramps!
Well, what, you on yet, Georgie?
Not yet, but you're falling asleep.
What's this on my forehead?
Cheese dip, Gramps.
You fell asleep in the cheese dip.
Must have fallen asleep with the cheese dip.
Oh, George, why does your TV commercial have to be on so late?
Our ad budget could only afford fringe time, but that's okay because a lot of people are up at Gramps!
I'm up. You're on the TV?
No, but soon.
Well, I'm all set right here next to the TV. I wouldn't miss you
If your advertising isn't reaching the people you want, radio definitely will. With its many different formats, radio reaches every lifestyle. So you can target more messages to exactly who you want, when you want, at a price you can still afford.
Okay, Helen, here it comes.
Oh, Gramps, it's George! It's George!
Oh, I'll get it. Let me turn off the TV first. Hello, George. Must have hung up.
Oh, brother.
Want to wake up your advertising? Try radio. It's right on the button. A message from the Radio Advertising Bureau.
15 minutes past the top of the, or to the top of the hour, 7:45 a.m. Hey, good morning to you, Loomis. Currently 52 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 79 degrees. Before we get to our local events here, Shane and I were talking. Shane, I think some of our best conversations are happening during the commercial breaks here, which I think, well, we should just save it for the air.
Yeah, you got to keep my mouth shut.
Well, I know, right? It was my first jaunt into radio. That was the guy that I co-hosted with. He would always say, like, don't say anything. So we would just sit there in silence, and then we would talk about it on the air, so it was fresh and new the first time. I don't know. I keep some of that, but you and I talk about stuff off the air. And I was saying how hard it is because the Morning Brew, I get a lot of stuff from there. Just some of our content. There's just keeps really on what's going on in the world. But on a day like today, I was telling you, it's hard to read that kind of first thing. I try and give myself a little bit of space between when I first get up in the morning and then when I look at the news, because the mental health experts, and I've read a lot of stuff that says, like, don't open your email the first thing that you do when you get up in the morning. Like, do yourself a mental favor and save that for a little bit later. Now, just because of the nature of my job and what I do, I kind of have to get up to speed on things pretty quickly here. But the first thing that I open up to is Amazon, UPS, PwC, and others slash their workforces. So as somebody who's, I don't know, in the middle of their working careers, like Amazon slashes 14,000 corporate jobs. Another one announced 30,000 job layoffs. UPS is also cutting a lot of its staff, 48,000 positions. And so I was telling him, like, Shane, some days it's harder to get up in the morning and to look at this. But I was reminded of, you know what? Really, it really is a reminder. There's a lot going on in the world, and I do feel, you know, for folks that are losing their jobs, especially coming up on the holidays, it's never a good time to lose your job. One, I'm thinking like, oh man, that's a whole lot more people out there competing for the jobs that are open. But two, then I thought, you know what, really to take it from one day at a time, like, listen, Shane, as far as you and I both know, we've got a job today. We're going to go to our job. We're at our job. We're doing the best that we can. We're going to show up and do our best, and we're going to let the rest take care of itself, right? Yeah, that's to avoid getting overwhelmed. Grateful for what I've got today, and thank you so much for being here with us. Hopefully, I don't know, our goal is to brighten up folks' day, and there's a lot of heavy stuff out there, and there's no avoiding it, and we do need to be informed. But I also, like, my approach is like, hey, let's make sure that we're just connecting as human beings to start off our day as well, and let's keep those local connections going as well. I don't know if I told you, speaking of local, I'll say this for the 8 o'clock hour. Speaking of these local connections, it was a misdialed number that I'm hoping to turn into a guest to come onto the show. Wow. Yeah, I'll tell you about that here in just a little bit. We'll use that as a little bit of a teaser. But hey, let's get to events that are happening on the calendar here. It's the 2025 Auburn Veterans Day Parade, and that is happening on Tuesday, November 11th. And that's been a community event since 1918, so that's been around for a hot minute. This year's Master of Ceremonies is going to be KAHI's own Mike Remy, General Manager of KAHI Radio, is going to be our Masters of Ceremonies. And Shane, a big thank you to you for, you're going to head out there and set up the sound system out there at Central Square so that Mike can be heard far and wide as he hosts, as he MCs this year's Auburn Veterans Day Parade. Again, that's happening on Tuesday, November 11th. And now that's going to be starting right around 10:50 a.m. in the morning. So if you can come down and hang out here near Central Square, you'll see the parade pass through there. A pancake and eggs breakfast for all attendees will be prepared by the Auburn Jeep Club. The breakfast is free to veterans and $5 for non-veterans. It'll be at the parking lot of the First Foundations Bank there at the check-in tent. It's a little bit up the hill there. So if you want to be here, be part of it. If you're a veteran, come out and be honored and get a free breakfast. If you're not a veteran, but you'd like a breakfast to help support the Auburn Jeep Club there, $5 for non-veterans. That ain't a bad price for a breakfast. They feed you pretty well over there. And by the way, the first 500 veterans at the parade will be awarded a commemorative medal. So again, the Auburn's Veterans Day Parade is happening on Tuesday, Veterans Day, November 11th at 10:50 a.m. at the corner of Lincoln and Cleveland Avenue, and at 11 a.m. we'll pause at Central Square. There will be a brief patriotic ceremony with the release of doves, followed by a 3-volley rifle salute. If you've not been there for the rifle salute, Shane, if you can stick around and see it, it's pretty cool. And then taps will be played after that. The parade will resume on High Street and end at the Gold Country Fairgrounds. Again, that is happening on Tuesday, November 11th, Veterans Day Parade right here in Auburn. All right, we'll be back with your KAHI News right after this.
Check out the Garden Goddesses here on the Voice of the Foothills Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Erlene Freeman and Cindy Davis will bring you up to speed on all the latest news and help your garden grow.
Row by row, someone bless.
It's the Garden Goddesses, Saturdays at 8 a.m. here on 104.5 FM and AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com.
And here's your KAHI News for Wednesday, October 29th. I'm Chris Quant. Law enforcement conduct a search warrant in East LA connected to deadly Esparto explosion. This is from Fox 40 News. A search warrant was conducted in Southern California in connection with the Esparto firework explosions that left 7 people dead in July. On Monday morning, officials from Yolo County and the California State Fire Marshal's office said its investigators executed a search warrant in East Los Angeles that could be connected with the Esparto investigation. Due to the cache findings of fireworks being so close, law enforcement issued an evacuation order for a local school and the surrounding neighborhood. Several items were discovered at the scene that required assistance from bomb squad and fire hazmat teams, and investigators are actively pursuing multiple leads, CAL FIRE officials said. At this time, CAL FIRE said in an email to Fox 40 that it could not share any more information about the search warrant, but wants to let the public know that the agency is committed to a thorough investigation. Oil in the engines, car buying scam, 2 arrests made in Northern California. This is also from Fox 40 News. On Monday, the Placer County Sheriffs arrested Lulian Mihai, 19, and DC Ball Mihai, 36, both from Fremont, for their alleged involvement in the scam. The scam involves a car buyer causing damage to a seller's vehicle, so they will reduce the selling cost. Last week, a Newcastle resident contacted PCSO after the suspects tried to scam her while buying her vehicle. During the test drive, the car suddenly began to smoke, something it hadn't done before, according to PCSO. Quote, "This is a well-known scam that tricks victims into believing their vehicle has a catastrophic problem, which the all-too-willing suspects are able to take off the victim's hands for a steeply reduced price," unquote, PCSO said. In this case, the victim grew suspicious that the individuals had introduced oil to the vehicle to make it appear something was wrong with the car. The victim reportedly told the suspects to come back another day. That's when the victim contacted deputies. Together, they arranged a follow-up meeting with the suspects in Newcastle. When the pair arrived, they were met instead by deputies and detectives and were promptly arrested. A search of their vehicle revealed counterfeit documents and evidence of identity theft, according to PCSO. Both suspects
suspects were arrested and booked into the Placer County Jail for alleged theft-related crimes, conspiracy, and fraud charges. Back with more news after this.
Because KAHI cares. Here's another KAHI Community Bulletin Board.
You don't have to go to Africa to have a wildlife adventure. The Wildlife Care Association offers adventure, challenge, and satisfaction when you volunteer to care for injured birds and small animals. The nonprofit group is offering classes now for volunteers to assist Mother Nature in returning wildlife to our communities. Visit wildlifecareassociation.com or call 916-965-WILD and get your adventure going.
Smokey the Bear. Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do. Don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at smokeybear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins.
Pamela Anderson, she was filming a movie with Tim Allen. She said on the first day of the filming, I walked out of my dressing room. He opened his robe and flashed me. He said, hey, it's only fair seeing you naked alive. Now, I like this part of the article. It's unclear how or when Allen would have seen Pamela Anderson naked. Half of North America has seen Pamela Anderson naked.
And the other half is under the age of 12.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins.
Weekdays from 1 to 4 on the Voice of the Foothills.
FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Continuing now with your KAHI news from the Morning Brew. Hurricane Melissa hit Jamaica as a Category 5. The historic storm barreled into Jamaica on Wednesday morning with wind speeds of 185 miles an hour, making it the most powerful hurricane ever to hit the country. It flooded roads and bridges and led to widespread internet outages, among other damage to infrastructure. Officials said that many Jamaicans ignored evacuation orders, with less than half of the country's 800 shelters occupied as of yesterday, the New York Times reported. Because of power outages and other issues caused by the storm, it may be difficult to immediately know the extent of the damage and loss of life. A UN agency described it as, quote, the storm of the century, unquote. It fell to a Category 3 storm before re-strengthening to a Category 4 as it approached Cuba. The country planned to evacuate 500,000 people to safety as it prepared for an overnight landfall. Gaza ceasefire breaks down as Netanyahu orders strikes on Hamas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered the military to conduct, quote, powerful strikes, unquote, against Hamas in Gaza yesterday after an official accused Hamas of attacking Israeli soldiers. Hamas responded to the strikes by saying it would delay returning the body of a hostage. The Associated Press also reported that tank fire and explosions could be heard in various parts of Gaza. The developments put the U.S. brokered ceasefire in doubt a little more than 2 weeks since it began. The slow return of hostages' bodies has prevented the ceasefire from moving on to addressing issues like Gaza's future governance, the AP reported. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. The U.S. military, Ken Paxton, sued Tylenol making company failed to warn consumers about a link between the drug and autism, which is unproven. And the Toronto Blue Jays won Game 4 of the World Series 6-2 after making life difficult for Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani, who was Los Angeles' starting hitter and starting pitcher for the game. Toronto and LA are now tied at 2 games apiece. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is defenestration, meaning the action of throwing someone out of a window. Yikes! And that's your KAHI News for this Wednesday, October 29th. I'm Chris Quant. Back with more after this.
What keeps you up at night? Is it the mysteries of the universe, the secrets of history, or maybe the stories no one else dares to tell? I'm Frank Morano, and I invite you to discover The Other Side of Midnight, where curiosity never sleeps. From the fascinating to the forbidden, we tackle it all. Catch the conversation weeknights from 2 to 6 a.m. right here on the Voice of the Foothills, FM 104.5 and AM 950. KAHI, The Night is Alive. Join us.
Hi, this is Mike Nichols. What are you doing Sunday? Join me for the KAHI Swap Shop this Sunday morning at 8 o'clock. The KAHI Swap Shop. This and every Sunday morning starting at 8 here on FM 104.5, AM 950, and KAHI.com, the voice of the foothills.
What do you say now? If it's a nice day now, what are you doing Sunday, baby?
Placer Farm Supply is celebrating 75 years serving our community. It was wonderful to see everyone who came to our Customer Appreciation Day. For those of you that could not attend, we are still running specials on diamond lemon rice and alfalfa hay. We are welcoming spring with our new garden center, including flowers, herbs, vegetables, soil, and adorable pots. Stock up on your supplies for your flock and pick up some baby chicks. They are sure to go fast with all the demand, so come down soon. Supply is limited. Placer Farm Supply for all your farming and ranching needs.
30 seconds to the top of the hour. It is 7:59 a.m. Gang, that is 2 hours down. My gosh, we are coming up on hour 3 here in just a little bit. Coming up next hour, Shane, I've got a story about a misdial that I think I'm going to try and turn into a guest opportunity here. We'll talk about that. Pausing for station identification first.
FM 104.5, K2A3CM, Auburn, and AM 950, KAHI, Auburn.
Wake up, it's Chris in the morning light on KAHI. Your day starts right. Foothill news and a smile or two with a dad joke, fresh and the weather too. He's the voice of the hills, keeping it real. Local talk with hometown feel. So grab your coffee.
2 creams, 1 sugar, please.
It's Chris in the morning with your day.
And here we go. Good Wednesday morning to you. It is October 29th, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 8 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills. Chris Quant with you here, holding it down in beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic, and very, very spacious Studio A, KAHI Studios, downtown Auburn, peering through the Venetian blinds at a gorgeous fall day. Although it's maybe not going to feel too fall-y out there. It's going to be a little bit warmer today, but those fall colors outside the window, Shane, are looking pretty crisp and pretty cool right now. As we're getting started on this Wednesday, if today is your birthday, let's get that started right now, right here. Let's wish you a happy stinking birthday today. I hope you have a fantastic day on this National Pancake Day. So Shane, let's be honest. Pancakes are just dessert for breakfast.
They are.
It's cake. Cake is in the name. But hey, cake is the right thing for birthdays. So if it's your birthday today, if you want pancakes, my gosh, go out and get pancakes. It's your day. Do that, whatever the heck you want, within reason. Don't hurt yourself and don't hurt anybody else. But if you want pancakes, enjoy pancakes. Shane, my wife's birthday celebration is kicking off this weekend. Her best friend is helping to plan a lot of the activities, which I'm very grateful for. I'll take the extra hand here. And she asked me if I'm going to be making waffles at any point. Waffles and pancakes are like I love breakfast. Could do breakfast any time of the day and twice on Sunday. So I said, I gotta get a plan for some pancake waffles coming up here. My birthday wish here's how weird I am. My birthday wish was to go up to up the hill a little bit to this kind of really cool picnic area that we have. Bring the camp stove, and I made pancakes for everybody else. Like, that was my birthday wish, was to make pancakes. Like, that's what apparently relaxes me. So happy Pancake Day to you. Yeah, Shane's like, you do you. Then that's fine.
Let me know next time, and I'll come.
What?
I'll come eat them too.
They were very good pancakes, by the way. So yeah, that's absolutely. If you were born today, well, good gracious, I hope you see a happy little tree over there. And maybe there's a happy little bush over here, and we're going to paint a happy mountain right over here. That's right. Bob Ross was born on this day in 1942. Passed away in 1995. Wow, way too soon. But Bob Ross, an American treasure for sure. Born on this date, 1942. Richard Dreyfuss, American actor. Now, Shane, both you and I remember him from Mr. Holland's Opus.
Yes.
I know he's been in a lot of other stuff, but yeah, that was a big one. Born on this day in 1947. Let's see. We have Winona Ryder is 1971. So happy birthday to them, and happy birthday to you if today is your birthday. On this day, 1929 was known as Black Tuesday. The New York Stock Exchange crashed, but on some happier news, on this day in, let's see, what was it, in 18, where was it? I lost it on my list here. The first ticker tape parade took place in New York City in 1886. That's when office workers spontaneously throw out a ticker tape onto the streets, and the city's janitors have regretted them ever since. And that was to celebrate the Statue of Liberty. Hear this thing? I saw somebody make the comment that the French donated this grand old thing to us, and we kept it outside like a piece of lawn furniture. Statue of Liberty dedicated just a couple of days ago, back in 1886. Today is also Hermit Day. I'm convinced my youngest is going to be a hermit. He's just got those hermit vibes, Shane, where he's like, "Oh, do you want to go out or stay in?" He's like, "I'll stay in. I'm going to stay in." We kind of have to force. Aren't your kids like that, where they just rather stay in, or are they pretty willing to go out and do stuff?
These days they're set in their ways.
Okay,
so they are hard to get out. The best thing I found is give them notice a day or two in advance.
Okay, that's actually good. And that's with my youngest. He is not the spontaneous type. So if he knows, boy, that's a good reminder. If he knows what's going down, he'll be down to do it as long as he can plan and prep for it. But you're right. You spring something on him, he's like, nah.
Yeah, with my kids, I've just found. I mean, this goes for lots of things in life, time wise. Is just give them some notice, give them some grace to be, to have a transition time.
Right,
like
right.
When they were little and I picked them up from the babysitting at the gym.
That's true.
If they'd be playing a game or something like that, let them finish their level, let them finish the round, whatever it is. 2 minutes of my time's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
But it's a night and day difference in the behavior. Like, okay, they were able to wrap up where they're at for a second and then move on.
Yeah, that I remember to this day. I always thought The Princess Bride was the worst movie because I remember we were over when we were kids. We were over at some friend's house. It was for a dinner or something, and they put all of us kids in the other room and they put on The Princess Bride. And my parents took us out right in the middle of the ROUSs during the swamp scene, and like the last thing I see is this big old rat like lumbering towards Wesley, and I was like, I like never got any rest. So in my mind for the longest time, I thought this is the worst movie ever. It's scary, blah, blah, blah. I didn't remember the other part of it. And I think I was too young to clock what the actual movie was about. I didn't see that movie again until I was in my 20s, Shane, and I almost didn't want to see it because, again, I remember this is just an awful movie. And then I watched it and I went, oh, well, this movie's delightful. But I remember they took us out at the exactly the wrong moment to do that. So, yeah, I didn't get to finish watching my dang movie when I was a kid. But you're right. Give them some morning, especially when they're older. Like, they have more independence now. Like, a little kid, you just pick them up and you go, right? Like, we got to go. But you're right. Like, even letting them finish their level is a world of difference in the attitude there. And so with all that being said, if today's your birthday, happy stinking birthday to you. Now, Shane, I teased this a little bit here earlier. I had so it was after the show. I was sitting at my desk here in the station, and I was working through some things. And I was supposed to actually be doing my other job too, but I noticed that I had missed a call. And they had left a voicemail. So when like spam calls usually come through, like, I don't know about you, like if there's a call that rings through on my phone, like I don't answer it unless it's already in my phone, like it's somebody, or I expect that, okay, that looks like a number that's local, that I should probably pick that up. This was one of those numbers where it looked like it was local, but I didn't recognize the number. So I'm like, I'll just let it go to voicemail. And usually that's the indicator of like, if they don't leave a voicemail, not important. Not even going to worry about it. It's probably spam. But this ended up, I saw that my voicemail was going off, that this person was leaving a voicemail. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Well, this must be something that's important. So I listened to the voicemail, and it's somebody returning my call about an inquiry that I had left, and they said that they were with Alaska Anglers. And I was like, what? I never called these people. What? And so I was intrigued enough, Shane. It's just like I'm gonna call this person back. Back in the day, it was, what was it, star 69? Back in the day, if somebody called on a landline, and it would call them back. But now, of course, with voicemail and all that. We can see their numbers come through. So I called Scott back. Scott, turns out he's down in Roseville there. He has this thing called Alaska Anglers, where I think they go on fishing trips up to Alaska. And so I'm calling him and he's like, hey, I'm returning your call. And I'm like, actually, I didn't call you. So this wasn't me, but tell me a little bit about your business. And I could tell I threw him a little bit. He's like, he has no idea who I am, other than he's just returning what he thinks is a business inquiry into his business. I'm calling him thinking, who the heck are you and what is this business? And so I gave him the pitch of like, and I didn't give him all the information, Shane. I'm like, hey, I'm on the radio. I like to have local businesses on, and it sounds like you might have this adventurous business. You probably have some good stories. And there's this long pause on the other end of the line, because now the phone call has been flipped on him. Now it's all of a sudden like I'm asking something from him for him to do something not at all what he's expecting, to come on the radio. Like, how many times do you make a random phone call and the person on the other end of the line's like, yeah, you want to come on the radio? And so there's this long pause, and I can tell he's trying to wrap his head around. He's like, wait, what radio station are you with? Who are you? And so I was like, oh yeah, I should probably give you more information. So I'm with KAHI Radio, 950 AM, 104.5 FM. We're based here up in Auburn. You're in Roseville. And so would be interested in seeing if you'd be interested in being a guest and talk about, because this sounds like a really interesting thing. Like, who knew out of Roseville, they're doing apparently these adventure trips up to Alaska. It makes sense. I mean, people, if you can do it, you can do it. So he's like, well, yeah. So basically, instead of him getting my information, I got his information, Shane. Nice. I'm the one that was doing the selling. And so I got his email address, and I emailed him last night. So we'll see if he responds to my email. Scott, if you're listening, and you want to come on, I would love to talk to you, find out a little bit about what you do. You got to have some good stories there. My wife is still to this day talking about the trip that she took up to Alaska with her grandparents. She had a really great time up there. But yeah, Scott, if you're listening, would love to have you on the show here. Alaska Anglers. So I imagine that is with fishing. But he said, speaking of fishing, how's this for a segue? He said, oftentimes, like these like scammers or phone call companies, they will basically use a phone number and mask themselves underneath that phone number. So apparently whoever's gotten a hold of my cell phone number and used my number to call him, trying to get to like, hey, have you thought about your car's extended warranty or something like that? Like that's usually so apparently my number is being out there or it was one number off or something like that. I don't know. But, so I'm not super excited about that, but hey, Shane, if it lands me a guest here on the show, we'll see if it happened. So I feel like I kind of turned the tables on him a little bit there when I was calling to him. But yeah, just the pause on the other side of the phone was it was classic. It was pretty funny. So anyway, 11 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:11 a.m. He's been waiting patiently for me to finish my story. Meteorologist Tim Root to let us know how our weather is going to be today. Timmy, how are we looking out there today?
Wednesday weather forecast, a pleasant day today, mid to upper 70s, mostly sunny skies and light west winds. Mostly clear, cool overnight, 50 to 55 for the low. A little bit cooler Thursday and Friday, low 70s or so. Mostly sunny skies expected Thursday and Friday. Friday night for the trick-or-treaters, they'll be mostly clear in the low 50s or so. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you that Chris in the Morning really is the best way to start your day. And he's not paying me to say this at all. Wink. And yes, he really is holding it down in beautiful Studio A in the KAHI Worldwide Headquarters Studios, Monday through Fridays, 6 to 9 a.m. Chris in the Morning here on FM 104.5, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com. Now where is that $3 gift card he said he'd leave me for saying nice things about him? Man, that guy's a cheapskate.
Hi, this is Dr. Dahlia, and I'm thrilled to announce that I've joined the KAHI radio team. Each weekday morning from 9 to noon, I'm live on KAHI. We tackle issues like cholesterol, diabetes, women's health, children, geriatrics, relationships, and more. And with all that's going on in Washington, we even touch on government and policies impacting your health. The Dr. Dahlia Show is also a live call-in medical talk show that answers your questions on the air. Join me, Dr. Dahlia, Monday through Friday from 9 to noon here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
This is Stephen Hill. Catch Hearts of Space, Sunday nights at 8, here on the all-new FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. The same voice of the foothills, more powerful than ever.
Enough already.
We can do more.
Enough already. We can find a cure.
Enough already.
We can do better for our kids.
Enough already. We are relying on you.
Childhood cancer is the leading cause of death by disease for children in our country. We can do something about that. We can come together to support the best research for safer, more effective treatments and cures for our kids. We can come together to support Children's Cancer Research Fund, a national nonprofit dedicated to ending childhood cancer that is on the front line of breakthroughs. Because
it's enough already.
Go to childrenscancer.org to join us. Go to childrenscancer.org today.
14 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:14 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Colfax. Currently 56 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 79 degrees. It's going to be a little bit warmer out there today. All right, let's turn it over now, as we do, to the Fox Business Report.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened higher. The Nasdaq opened in record territory. Investors are waiting for the Fed meeting to wrap up. The Fed's expected to lower interest rates by 0.25%. Nvidia shares were up 4%, boosting its intraday value to $5 trillion. It's the first company to reach that milestone. There's optimism that President Trump's meeting with China's leader Xi could result in resuming chip deliveries to China for Nvidia. Boeing is reporting progress with production of its 737 MAX jets, but had expenses in the recent quarter related to its wide-body 777X delays. Alphabet, Meta, and Microsoft all report earnings today after the Wall Street close. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda. Invested in you.
KAHI AM and FM is once again your Foothills home of Sacramento Kings basketball and Sharks hockey.
He winds up and throws down the jam of the night.
Join Gary Gerald for every Kings game this season on FM 104.5 and 950 AM. Your home of the Kings and Sharks.
16 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:16 a.m. Taking a look outside at our traffic right now. Looks like we've got an accident. The left shoulder is blocked there. That's I-80 westbound at the Antelope truck scales there. So just a heads up if you're going to be slowing down as you're coming to the Cap City split there. Capital City Freeway slow all the way into Sacramento if you're going that way. If you're going 80 westbound over to I-5, slowing a little bit around Norwood there. I-5 northbound looking pretty good if you're heading to the airport. But southbound, my gosh, slowing right around Del Paso Road there coming southbound. So just a heads up, it's going to be slow. 65 slowing down around Sunset Boulevard as you're working your way towards I-80 there going northbound on 65. Not too bad. If you're heading up the hill on 80, not too bad right now. If you're heading up to Truckee and on the 50 side, if you're heading up to South Lake Tahoe, not too bad there. If you're coming 50 down towards Sacramento, slowing down a little bit around Watt Avenue there. If you're going on 49, looks like we've got one-way controlled traffic at St. Florian Court in Cool in El Dorado County there. That's going to be from 7 o'clock to about 5 o'clock on Tuesday through Friday of this week due to utility work. We'll be back with more right after this.
Little River Inn on the beautiful Mendocino coast invites you to plan your fall or winter getaway now. Get away from the hustle and bustle of the city and make your memories with a day filled with wide open spaces, ocean views, and clean air, or a jacuzzi tub, fireplace, and an evening of snuggling with your sweetie. Little River Inn's restaurant offers a full bar and romantic outdoor garden dining with stunning scenery in the daytime and heat and twinkle lights for the crisp Mendocino evenings. The Little River Inn offers couples, families, as well as pet-friendly getaway packages. Stroll the shops in the quaint Mendocino Village just a couple of miles north, or hike the trails of the breathtaking Van Dam State Park just a 5-minute walk from the hotel. Schedule a massage or acupuncture appointment, or spend the day at Little River Inn's on-site golf course. Book your getaway today at littleriverinn.com or by calling the Little River Inn at 1-888-INN-LOVE. That's 1-888-IN-LOVE.
Every day, men and women from communities across this nation serve as Reserve Citizen Airmen.
I am proud to defend our nation.
Proud to be part of a team that helps make a difference.
I am proud to be part of something larger than me.
We celebrate those who have served and those who are proudly serving in the Air Force Reserve. Our mission is to fly, fight, and win in air, space, and cyberspace.
I am proud to be a member. I am proud to protect our...
Proud to serve in the U.S. Air Force Reserve.
AFReserve.com.
18 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:18 a.m. Coming up in our next segment at the bottom of the hour, sports ball. The Kings play. We'll let you know when they're going to play again here on KAHI. Also local sports as well. Hey, by the way, next week we're going to have Placer County Supervisor Cindy Gustafson on the line on Monday. If you've got any questions that you'd like to ask Cindy, let me know live at KAHI.com, LIVE at KAHI.com, or you can call 530-885-3565. Cindy Gustafson will be back on Monday morning. So let me know your questions live at KAHI.com or 530-885-3565. Off to JT in the morning. See you back here at the bottom of the hour.
Happy Tedsday. No, sir. That's what one of my treasured possessions is my Gadsden flag. I have it in my office, have had it for years. Used to hang in a Democrat's congressional office. Oh, those were the days. And 434-882-4217.
Probably impact the entire country and could help decide who controls Congress. So if you would like to help, and I've had a ton of people ask me, what can we do about this? Well, there's three things. One, our legislators in Virginia can show up and vote no. We did that, and it stopped nothing because we don't have enough votes. We can also start lawsuits, which I'm pretty sure there's going to be quite a few lawsuits over something that most of us think is unconstitutional and therefore illegal. The third thing is we can just win the election. That's right. The election is ongoing here in Virginia, and the final election day will be next Tuesday. That's right. So if we pick up 2 seats in the House of Delegates, all of this nonsense stops. And even better than that, we get to fire Don Scott as Speaker, which would just be incredible on so many levels. I can't even express it. So I'm going to leave a bunch of links to the seats we're trying to hold and the seats we're trying to pick up, and we could definitely use your help.
That is Nick Freitas, social commentary and blogger, and also YouTube host, podcaster. But for the last few moments, member of the Virginia General Assembly, the oldest elected body in the world, they're redistricting. Eric Holder finally sent them the template for the law they want to write, and their law, basically, here's the irony of it. So Nick points out that they all voted no on the bill that would allow for redistricting. Yeah, but there's a whole bunch of people who voted in favor of the constitutional amendment that actually exists right now that are still in the Virginia General Assembly. That's where the hypocrisy in this is the whole bit. Do we have his clip back in here again?
It's impacting Virginia. I need you to know that it's not just going to impact Virginia. If they get what they want, this is going to probably impact the entire country and could help decide who controls Congress. So if you would like to help, and I've had a ton of people ask me, what can we do about this? Well, there's 3 things. One, our legislators in Virginia can show up and vote no. We did that, and it stopped nothing because we don't have enough votes.
But technically, you should have had enough votes because there were an awful lot of people who just 5 years ago amended the Virginia Constitution, which, barring what they are attempting to do right now, is a Herculean task, as any constitution should be a Herculean task to amend. You can't just say, you know what, I feel like I'm, please. It should take a process of events involving voters and the things and the ilk. But the number of Republicans is only less than the number of Democrats by 2. partially because they played games and got one of the Republicans to resign to become U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Virginia, and then he got pushed out. So we have nobody in that seat. Oh, good times, great oldies. We were asking Ken Cuccinelli about this just yesterday from the Election Transparency Initiative, and about what the hypocrisy in the elected officials who supported this 5 years ago and are still there, campaigned for this new way of doing redistricting. And now they want to undo it because Eric Holder tells them to. And I'm sorry if that makes them feel like I view their efforts as less than adult. I do, because the day before Virginia filed its motion to try to come up with a way to drop a nuclear explosive on constitutional process just to get a win, Eric Holder made a $150,000 contribution to them. Go ahead, read about it. Read all about it. My column at dailysignal.org. If you go to Daily Signal online, you'll be able to find my column. Apologies, I didn't choose the picture that accompanies it. Giant picture of Eric Holder smiling at you. Yeah, yikes. But we've got to in California and Illinois and all these things. So understand there's a reality in Texas, and Ken talked about this. This is not. It's being portrayed that Texas did it, so we all have to do it. With the court ruling in Texas, bring us back to there, because I think a lot of people are presenting this just sort of like, oh, people are just doing this willy-nilly because they feel like it or they got bored waiting for the next census.
It was, of course, the Trump DOJ that wrote Texas the letter and said, you got this ruling and you guys haven't fixed it. You need to fix it.
Right.
And, Trump was happy about that because that created the opportunity for a few more, probably 3 more Republican districts, probably not 5. But, and that was where the blow up began. And then it's all been crazy since then. But the thing is, on the Dem-Republican side of this, the Dems did this already. I mean, look at the map in Illinois. Mm-hmm. It's 14-3 Democrat. It's, and California, despite their redistricting commission, it's very heavily stacked to the left.
Right.
And so you have a very heavily stacked set of congressional districts.
Mm-hmm.
So they've, and the whole Northeast famously doesn't have a single Republican. They've already done this on the left. The real complaint, I'll never say it this way, is here we are mid-decade, and the Republicans are doing it back. In North Carolina,
mm-hmm.
where the governor doesn't have a role. In Texas, obviously, where they would have had to make the change anyway because of the Fifth Circuit ruling last year. And the funny thing is that is where it started, and it started with a ruling that happened while Biden was president, though he had nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's rolled its way into Virginia, little old Virginia, and we're much more in the. Boy, I hope I don't have to say this too much in the coming years. We're much more in the California position, because they have to undo a constitutional amendment
mm-hmm.
to achieve the goals they have.
And that's, you suppose the whole point of a constitutional amendment is to make it hard to do, because these have to rise to a particularly high standard, because it's supposed to be about what the government is sworn to protect you from have happen. And including having your votes diminished or your electoral voice dispatched, like so many blacks trying to get to a lunch counter in the 40s. And understand, a lot of this is racially based.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
This is an urgent announcement for anyone that's $10,000 or more in debt. Before you make another minimum payment, you need to know there are special programs that can completely free you of your debt. Total Financial Freedom can help you become debt-free in months instead of years. Resolve your credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and timeshares. Call Total Financial Freedom now at 800-878-6020 for a free consultation. For 16 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands get out of debt. You can feel confident when calling because Total Financial Freedom is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Battling for years and years, stuck in the endless cycle of minimum payments could take decades. You have the right to get your debt resolved and substantially reduce your monthly payments. Call Total Financial Freedom now at 800-878-6020. That's 800-878-6020. 800-878-6020.
And good Wednesday morning to you. It is October 29th, and it is 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:30 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Placerville. Currently 58 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 79 degrees. All right, there is the sports ball music. Let's get right into it. We are starting in the NBA. We have the Kings versus if I can get my cursor to go on the right part of the screen here, we have the Kings versus who are they playing? They were playing the Thunder. There we go, the Kansas City Thunder. They were playing away yesterday, if you heard the game here on KAHI. Well, you might have heard this play. Here's what it sounded like from the arena.
DeRozan knows exactly what he wants to do. He is not going to rush this possession by any means. Now he gets matched up on the rookie.
He's going to try to get him up in the air.
DeRozan with a fadeaway, nails it. 29-24 was the score then, but the Kings couldn't hang on. They had the lead then, but couldn't hang on to the lead. Kings lost there. They lost to the Thunder 107-101. Kings will be back on KAHI tonight at 5 o'clock versus Chicago. That's going to be tonight versus Chicago at 5 p.m. Catch all of the action here on KAHI. Other scores around the NBA yesterday, Warriors versus the Clippers. Warriors on top there, 98-79. Knicks versus the Bucks. Bucks on top there, 121-111. And we had the Heat, brought the Heat versus the Hornets. They win that one, 144-117. Headed over to the MLB. We've got Game 4 of the World Series. Blue Jays versus the Dodgers. Blue Jays on top there, 6-2. The series is tied at 2 apiece now. Come on, let's go. We're always hoping for a Game 7. Everybody always loves a Game 7 on the series, even if you don't have a horse in the race there. So the series is tied now, 2 apiece. Blue Jays won over the Dodgers 6-2 yesterday. All right, going locally to the Auburn Journal here. Forest Hill locks up first league title with perfect run through Sierra Delta. Forest Hill High School's flag football team made school history with Wednesday's 31-6 victory over Leroy Green Academy as it wrapped up the first Sierra Delta League championship in program history. The Wildfires scorched, I see what they did there, through the competition, going a perfect 12-0 and outscoring opponents 287-82. So Wildfire ladies flag football team, well done. Congratulations on the undefeated season there. That is awesome. All right, we'll be back with your KAHI weather right after this.
Are you ready to explore the unexplained, dive into the bizarre, and journey to the other side of midnight? I'm Frank Morano, your host for the most compelling late-night talk show in America. From conspiracy theories to cosmic mysteries, from politics to pop culture, we cover it all, and then some. Join me weeknights from 2 to 6 a.m. right here on the Voice of the Foothills, FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. Don't just stay up late. Stay curious.
Wednesday weather forecast, a pleasant day today, mid to upper 70s, mostly sunny skies and light west winds. Mostly clear, cool overnight, 50 to 55 for the low. A little bit cooler Thursday and Friday, low 70s or so. Mostly sunny skies expected Thursday and Friday. Friday night for the trick-or-treaters, it'll be mostly clear in the low 50s or so. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. 33 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:33 a.m. And gang, just like that, my gosh, the days go by. It goes by so quick when I'm here, but I love it. Love being here with you in the morning. Until we meet each other again early tomorrow morning, as always, remember to be kind, be honest, be yourself. And remember, you can't hate somebody if you're hugging them. Again, if it's your birthday today, happy stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic day today. It's Pancake Day. If you like pancakes, go ahead and have some pancakes. Again, if you've got questions for Placer County Supervisor Cindy Gustafson, District 5, let us know live at KAHI.com or call, not now, but tomorrow, 530-885-3565. We're going to have her on the show again on Monday. Until we see each other again tomorrow, have a great day. Back now to JT in the morning.
Everybody loves the American campfire. Don't you hear it calling your name?
So the American campfire, are we all allowed around it, or are some more allowed than others? And the gaslighting of America is getting deeper and deeper and deeper.
Thomas, for God's sake, listen to me. Enough of you, sir. Now listen. Why not open up a window? Will you listen to me and forget the window?
That's William Daniels portraying John Adams. And much like Martin Sheen, who never actually was president of the United States, I think William Daniels has forgotten that he wasn't actually one of the framers of the Declaration of Independence. He posted to social media this morning, or I guess late last night, 98 years old. God bless him. The current president has ripped a piece of history out from our lives, and we mustn't take it lightly. And doesn't really go into details of what it is that has been rent from your hands. One would presume, since the photograph that accompanies the Instagram post by the 98-year-old actor is of he and Ken Howard playing Thomas Jefferson. And as I've said, I've met Ken Howard. I've never met Thomas Jefferson. But I feel like I'm close because I met Ken Howard. And Ben Franklin from the film 1776. So I only presume that some declarative foundational thing has been rent from the hands of Americans, and I can't for my life figure out what it is. You ask the folks who march in the No Kings protests, what rights of yours have been taken away? And the best they can come up with is they'll scream habeas corpus over their brown neighbors who have been rounded up and taken to concentration camps. That's what they say. Our brown neighbors, our fellow insert name of town here, residents have been swooped and taken away from their jobs and their homes and their schools and taken to concentration camps. You mean the ones that aren't citizen? They're our neighbors. They're our neighbors. And who's paying for the rent on the house they're living next to you in? You're a racist fascist. That's the best I can come up with, is that the things that they're claiming are being stolen from Americans are not being stolen from Americans at all, but being adjudicated as having been stolen by people who come to this country and take jobs and that kind of thing and housing without cause because they're not citizens. And I bring this up because I got this email regarding the Zohan Mad Money story. Sorry. technically be correct, Joe. You're doing a news piece here, so it's Zorhan Mamdani and his foreign contributors to his election. Mike writes in, Joe, why should we care if foreign people give money to Mamdani's campaign? Foreign people have gotten the right to vote in Minnesota anyway. Last week's story that Minnesota is giving out driver's license to everyone. Just ask and you get one. Regardless of what district it is. See, Minnesota's not so worried about their congressional districts. They'll just flood the field. And this is why I talk about this thorough gaslighting of America. I'm not saying that William Daniels is not capable of intellectual thought. I've never met him. But he's so convinced that the popular position is in this lawless pursuit of what I don't know. So I went to this poll that we were reporting about, the Public Policy Institute of California. Because I wanted to see what some of the other results were, the top line results in the news. 56% of Californians support the idea of vote, will vote in favor of Prop 50, which will then give the General Assembly, the legislature, the opportunity to redraw all of California's congressional districts. Because why would you want to have rules about that? Huh? Why would you want to have rules about where a congressional district is? I've got an idea. Why don't we just multiply the number we currently have by, 1,200? Because if you go by what they had initially intended to put onto the U.S. Constitution, no congressional district should be larger than 50,000 people. For reference, we are currently at 720,000 people on average. And yes, I know this would create a Congress of 6,400 people, but there are plenty of theaters in Washington that are that large. Just build one. It's not like we don't have a president who knows how to build something onto these buildings. And part of this false idolatry that I watch being displayed as they tear down the East Wing to build the Lyndon Johnson I Need More ballroom. I need more, ballroom, yeah. They get into this fixation on the buildings. And one of the premises for the non-Dixiecrats, the non-racists, to pass the Permanent Reapportionment Act of 1929 was a conservative one. We just had spent a fortune building the two wings of the House and Senate where they would meet. The House had grown so large it had outgrown the room that they had been meeting in, which is now one of the statuary halls. So they built the rooms on now that are currently the House and Senate chambers. And they said, listen, we really don't want to let the black people get more Congress people, so we're going to permanently set this. But the other side is we will never have to build a bigger building again. Well, that's a conservative principle. So the racists of the 1920s, while they were back home writing laws that said you couldn't go into the same bathroom or drink from the same water fountain or heck, go to the same restaurant as Caucasians, was now saying, hey, you're no longer going to grow as a population and get better representation. It all can be fixed if we go back to the original Bill of Rights and dust off that original First Amendment. The original First Amendment, preeminent amongst all the other things that George Mason and company thought would be important in protecting the liberty of Americans, were small, contiguous congressional districts. no more than the size of an average baseball stadium would be, the population of your congressional district. And I am absolutely fine with that. Because you know what? I don't bow and pray to the false idolatry of the function. Oh, well, we have the office, got to keep the office because the office is American and you're a patriot, right? So anything that's American, you've got to defend. Not if it's wrong. It wasn't patriotic to defend Buck versus Bell. The Virginia Act for Sterilization wasn't patriotic. It was American law. Supreme Court is. But this all goes and is rendered academic if we actually had the kind of representation that George Mason and Patrick Henry saw as the only way to defend our rights.
In 2024, the American Heart Association celebrates 100 years of life-saving service as the world's leading nonprofit organization focused on heart and brain health. Heart disease still kills more people in the United States each year than all types of cancer combined, but more than half of Americans are unaware of this fact, according to a recent Harris Poll survey conducted for the American Heart Association. However, the majority of heart disease is preventable. New research has improved the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of heart disease and its risk factors. Efforts led by the American Heart Association have reduced deaths from heart disease by half over the past century and helped people with heart disease live longer and more productive lives while managing their condition and risk factors. To learn more about the American Heart Association's Century of Service and how you can help, visit heart.org/centennial.
We are the entertainment you love and information that shapes your day. We are your lifeline.